Next thing is C11, National University of Kaohsiung, Yongchai High School.
C12, National Shangyang University, Nihonhokushin University, please come to waiting zone.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard the Friendship Airline. You will take off soon and hope you will enjoy the flight. The idea about the team is to make friends with the whole world. You want to make a friend, you have to know him or her very well. Now, we are going to discuss the 5 subjects about the differences between Taiwan and Malaysia.
Hello everyone, our first topic is language between Taiwan and Malaysia. There are 2 special points in Taiwan language. First is verb method, and second is traditional characters.
About Malaysia, we are going to introduce about simplified Chinese and Bahasa Rojak.
What is verb method? Verb method is also named 注音符号 or Mandarin phonetic symbols. It consists of 37 characters and 4 top marks, and is commonly used to teach in reading or writing since elementary school. For Taiwanese, we use traditional Chinese as our main language, and so do Hong Kong and Macau.
While for Malaysia, we will use simplified Chinese like China, but some of us also know how to use traditional Chinese. What is Bahasa Rojak? Bahasa Rojak means a very mixed language in Malaysia. Rojak is a kind of Malaysian snacks which makes many kinds of ingredients in it. When we use Bahasa Rojak, usually we will use 2 or more kinds of language in it. In this example, we have used 5 kinds of language. They are Chinese, Indian, English, Malay, and Cantonese. This is the characteristic of Bahasa Rojak.
These are some examples of difference of Hokkien between Taiwan and Malaysia. In the world, most of Taiwanese use Mandarin and Taiwanese Hokkien. Also, few people use Hakka and Formosan language.
In Malaysia, if you know any Malaysia common language or dialect, there won't be any language barriers.
We are going to introducing the difference between Taiwan and Malaysia education systems.
In Malaysia, we have various choices. You can either spend 5 years in government school or 6 years in private high school.
We don't study for 3 years in junior high school. After that, every student will fight for their ideal high school.
This seems very uncivil because we finish our senior education and junior education in the same high school.
So what distinguishes these two?
National University only accept government high school graduates, so private high school graduates will most likely study abroad.
So you are very welcome to study in Taiwan.
Ooh, it's cold outside. I better wear a bit more.
Not even that, you're just fine. So why a Malaysian usually wears a t-shirt and a slippers? Now, let me give you something. Malaysia is located near the equator and is categorized as equatorial. Now look at the following table. We got all these raining clouds, which means humid, and the highest temperature got is 32 degrees Celsius.
Oh, so that's the reason why you wear it that way?
Yeah, you get the right point. And there's a fun fact that we usually take a bath for 2 or 3 times a day. And how about you?
As a Taiwanese, we only take a bath once a day.
It sounds dirty.
No, we are not dirty because our weather is not like yours. Let me show you why. Taiwan is situated in subtropical climate zone with 4 seasons.
And could you explain more further?
Sure, in spring, the average temperature is about 25 degrees Celsius, and we usually wear a light jacket because the weather is still be cool. And in summer, it also be hot and humid.
Here we are the same.
Yes, but it won't last so long. It's getting colder in autumn, and here comes the winter.
So you guys wear a scarf and a coat?
Definitely.
It sounds amazing.
Of course, so that is
How we live.
Now, we are going to introduce some Taiwanese and Malaysian cuisine to all you guys. Hey Nick, do you know nasi lemak?
Oh, what's that?
Nasi nasi lemak is a fragrant rice dish cooked in coconut milk and pandan leaf.
Wow, sounds delicious. Dan, have you ever tried stinky tofu? It tastes better than it smells. Trust me, brother. I bet you will like it.
Of course it is. I've tried it and I love it. By the way, bro, I guess you may like roti canai and cendol. They are a perfect match of Indian cuisine.
Oh, so people live in Malaysia enjoy Indian food?
Indeed, Malaysia is a multiracial and multicultural country that has various types of food.
Oh, I learned the lesson. You must try deep fried chicken steak and pure milk tea.
Oh, I've heard them before. Don't you tell me you don't know bak kut teh? It is a Chinese dish.
Of course I know. Dining is the best way to experience local culture.
And it's also the best way to make new friends.
Do you know, embracing the cultural difference helps us to make friends with the world. To understand the cultural difference, we see knowing the festival is the best way.
So now we are going to introduce you the festivals between Taiwan and Malaysia.
As you can see, there are types of festivals both celebrated in Taiwan and Malaysia.
Right now, this slide shows you about the festival which Malaysians usually celebrate. Malaysia is a multi-racial country. Diversity of races is the reason why Malaysians will celebrate more festivals than other countries.
All the Taiwanese will celebrate the Double Tenth Day.
Oh, is it their national day?
Yes! Meanwhile, our Aboriginal will celebrate their festival. This festival operate for peace and harvest. Next, I'm going to introduce the Moon Festival in Taiwan to you. In that day, we will watch the full moon, barbecue together, and eat the pomelo and mooncake.
Right. In Malaysia, Hindus will gather batu plates, and some of them will impale themselves by metal posts. That day, they will also throw coconut to the floor as well.
In conclusion, once we understand and appreciate people's cultural backgrounds, then we can connect the world more tightly. Let's network with the world! Yeah!
Thank you for your wonderful presentation. Is there anyone wants to ask questions?
Hello, I'm from National Senior University. Thanks for your presentation. I would like to ask, because you are introduced and emphasize on the cultural differences, I would like to know how your practical action or some authentic experience or any suggestion for government policy to promote your cultural to other countries, or like there's a marketing strategy like segmentation, because you're going to segment divide the different group, different countries to promote your culture. How would you do it?
We do it through groups, part by part. And by the time we focus them together, to making up together, to make it more complex. To make sure that when you want to understand or know the country, you have to know through these 5 types. Thank you.
Any questions?
You mentioned Chinese family in your presentation, but is there any connection with making friends?
Sorry, can you repeat your question, please?
You mentioned Chinese farming in your presentation. I think it's great, but is there any connection with making friends?
Can I know what is Chinese boundary?
Just like you mentioned Burma.
Oh.
Like in Malaysia, we use Roman pinyin to replace bopomofo. Then in Taiwan, they use those traditional bopomofo. When we come to Taiwan, we type the keyboard, the input method is not the same one. Then we can exchange the cultures.
Purple is the main typing in Taiwan, and Roman pinyin is the common in Malaysia. So we contrast two.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your presentations, and I have a questions because you are actually discussing about differences. So I want to ask you, how do you think promoting differences can help us to widen our horizons? Because I think it's actually sometimes creating competitiveness. Do you understand my question?
Yes, and actually this like widen our view, widen our knowledge to know about this world and give us more view to digest that, to make sure that we know through the country, the culture. And accept them with your open heart. Okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks for your answer.